Right, well, hello out there on Zoom, hello out there on Instagram, hello out there on Facebook. My name's Miss Macy. I'm one of the staff members here. Sifu's not feeling well, so I get to do this talk, which is always a privilege. Alright, so the question of the week is, what's the wisest thing that somebody's ever said to you? It could be so many things, but I decided to take one of the books that we have out here in the lobby by Thich Khan, who has lots of wise things to say. And I went through and chose a few kind of random things, things that were short enough to share here. And if I have something that I think I can add to this, I will, but I don't know, his words are pretty gold. So we're just going to start with a few of these and see how we go. Alright, so first thing I opened to today was sitting anywhere. When you need to slow down and come back to yourself, speaking to your questions earlier, you do not need to rush home to your meditation cushion or to a meditation center in order to practice conscious breathing. You can breathe anywhere, just sitting on your chair at the office or sitting in your automobile, even if you are at a shopping mall or shopping centre filled with people or waiting in a line at a bank. If you begin to feel depleted and need to return to yourself, you can practice conscious breathing and smiling, just standing there. Wherever you are, you can breathe mindfully. We all need to go back to ourselves from time to time in order to be able to confront the difficulties of life. We can do this in any position, standing, sitting, lying down, or walking. If you can sit down, however, the sitting position is the most stable. One time I was waiting for a plane that was 4 hours late at Kennedy Airport in New York, and I enjoyed sitting cross-legged. Right in the waiting area, I just rolled up my sweater and used it as a cushion and I sat. People looked at me curiously, but after a while, they ignored me and I sat in peace. There was no place to rest. The airport was full of people, so I just made myself comfortable where I was. You may not want to meditate so conspicuously, but breathing mindfully in any position at any time can help you recover yourself. And it's true, isn't it, that we're breathing all the time anyway. So if you start to feel anxious, if you start to feel like life's not working very well right now, you can always take the time to mindfully breathe and consciously breathe. And I'll do a little bit of science right now. When you do a deep breath in and out from your diaphragm, you're actually connecting to the frontal cortex of your brain, which then overrides any of the basal ganglia. And it's the basal ganglia that starts getting you like into the fight or flight anxious stuff that goes on. So having that big deep breath connects you to the prefrontal cortex and allows you to have the control over your emotions. That's where that comes from. So it's physics and it's in your body. Like your body knows how to do that. So take advantage of that. All right. The next one I went to. Investing in friends. I really like this one. I think it speaks to the kind of environment we create here in the dojo. So, investing in friends. Even if we have a lot of money in the bank, we can die very easily from our suffering. Ain't that the truth? So, investing in a friend, making a friend into a real friend, building a community of friends is a much better source of security. You will have someone to lean on, to come to during our difficult moments. We can get in touch with the refreshing, healing elements within and around us, thanks to the love and support of other people. If we have a good community of friends, we are very fortunate. To create a good community, we first have to transform ourselves into a good element of the community. After that, we can go to another person and help him or her become an element of the community. We build our network of friends that way. We have to think of friends and community as investments, as our most important asset. They can comfort us and help us in difficult times, and they can share our joy and happiness. I just think that's so cool. I just think that's really nice. You know, it's very, very true. There's a documentary on Netflix, I think it's still on Netflix, about the blue zones, which are communities of people that live to 100 or, you know, well into their 90s. And so these people were studying what makes people live into their 90s, well into their 100s in these areas. And that is one of the components of that, is that you have a strong connection with your community, you have a strong support system for yourself, and you are also a support system for those people in the community too. So it's a very important part of life, and sustains us a lot. Okay, so let's see, where do they go to next? Oh, washing dishes. So Sifu talks about washing dishes a lot in Tai Chi. Sometimes in meditation talks. He talks about how he didn't used to like washing dishes, and then he was like, wait a minute, I think you're washing dishes like Tai Chi. And this is almost exactly the same thing, so I'm going to share this one. Washing dishes. To my mind, the idea that doing dishes is unpleasant can occur only when you aren't doing them. Once you are standing in front of the sink with your sleeves rolled up and your hands in the warm water, it is really quite pleasant. I enjoy taking my time with each dish, being fully aware of the dish, the water, and each movement of my hands. I know that if I hurry in order to eat dessert sooner, the time of washing dishes will be unpleasant and not worth living. That would be a pity, for each minute, each second of life is a miracle. The dishes themselves and the fact that I am here washing them are miracles. If I am incapable of washing dishes joyfully, if I want to finish them quickly so I can go and have dessert, I will be equally incapable of enjoying my dessert. With the fork in my hand, I will be thinking about what to do next, and the texture and the flavour of the dessert, together with the pleasure of eating it, will be lost. I will always be dragged into the future, never able to live in the present moment. Each thought, each action, in the sunlight of awareness becomes sacred. In this light, no boundary exists between the sacred and the profane. I must confess, it takes me a bit longer to do the dishes, but I live fully in each moment, in every moment, and I am happy. Washing the dishes is at the same time a means and an end. That is, not only do we do the dishes in order to have clean dishes, we also do the dishes just to do the dishes, to live fully in each moment while washing them. I just think that is just like, to have that level of ability to be with every single moment in your life and remembering that it's so precious and just a joy to be alive is incredible. Like, to be able to be in that space every single moment of every single day. Miraculous, like he said, it's miraculous. It's miraculous that we breathe. It's miraculous that we stand here. It's miraculous that we're here and this dojo is here. And if we appreciate that every single time that we're here, if we appreciate it wherever you are at home, that you are at home or wherever you are, maybe you're not even at home, wherever you are listening to this, that it's a moment in your life and that moment is precious and you're spending it doing this thing that you are doing right now, which is to be present. And that's really, truly a gift. So, very, very fun. All right. Sometimes when we read things to do with Zen or with Buddhism, there are translations that happen and they sound quaint to us. But I think there's a richness and an ability in that quaintness to go, I need to have beginner's mind here with this. What does this mean? How is it occurring? What's going on here? What's the essence of what it is that they're talking about? This is one of those times. The title of this little section is called Suchness. In Buddhism, the word suchness, now I'm sure it's not suchness in Buddhism because it's not English, right? But he's translated it as suchness. Okay, so in Buddhism, the word suchness is used to mean the essence or particular characteristic of a thing or a person, its true nature. Each person has his or her suchness. If we want to live in peace and happiness with a person, we have to see the suchness of that person. Once we see it, we understand him or her, and there will be no trouble. We can live peacefully and happily together. When we bring natural gas into our homes for heating and cooking, we know the suchness of gas. We know that gas is dangerous. It can kill us if we're not mindful. But we also know that we need the gas in order to cook. So we do not hesitate to bring it into our homes. The same is true of electricity. It can help us, and there's no problem, because we know something about the suchness of electricity. Oh, I missed that. The same is true of electricity. We could get electrocuted by it, but when we are mindful, it can help us. And there's no problem, because we know something about the suchness of electricity. A person is the same. If we do not know enough about the suchness of that person, we may get ourselves into trouble. But if we know, then we can enjoy each other very much and benefit a lot from one another. The key is knowing a person's suchness. We do not expect a person always to be flower. We have to understand his or her garbage as well. So, I love the way that people from different cultures see things in different ways, right? So, he's bringing like the essence of this word. I don't know what it is in Buddhism, but the essence means the essence of a person, or the essence of a being. And then once you know that essence of a person, you can be with them. And that ability to be with people, however they are, and whatever it is that they have got going on with them, allows you to move through the world with serenity and peace. If you're all forever, butting up against people when they have a characteristic or something that they do that you don't quite mesh with, or you don't flow with, then that creates the trouble in the world, right? But if you can allow whatever it is that they're doing, it's like when we practice jiu-jitsu, right? People are doing certain techniques and things like that, and if you can flow with it, then you can roll with it, and you go with it, and then you adjust and do whatever it is you need to do as well to be with that person and make it a dance, make it a play, make it an interaction rather than a fight. So that's a good thing. I think I'm going to find one more. I'm just doing it by random, kind of random. I'm trying to find something that's relatively short too. Oh, let's do this one. Yeah. continuing the journey. We have walked together in mindfulness, learning how to breathe and smile in full awareness at home, at work, and throughout the day. We've discussed eating mindfully, washing the dishes, driving, answering the telephone, and even cutting the grass with a scythe. Mindfulness is the foundation of a happy life. But how can we deal with difficult emotions? What should we do when we feel anger, hatred, remorse, or sadness? There are many practices I have learned, and a number I have discovered during the past 40 years from working with these kinds of mental states. Shall we continue our journey together and try some of these practices? That's what being here in the dojo is about. It's finding those practices that helps you deal with those difficult emotions, that helps you deal with yourself and the little voices that come into your head when things aren't going exactly how you want them to go. But the practice here brings us to coming back to mindfulness, coming back to sitting, coming back to practicing our meditation, and allowing that to inform us as we move forward through into our lives and out, outside of the dojo as well. So, with that, thank you. Peace is every step. Take Naktan from the lobby out here if you want a copy. We're going to sit and meditate. So when we sit, we can sit with our spine straight. Sit with our spine straight. Hands comfortably, usually at your thighs. You want to sit with your knees lower than your hips if you can. Allow your hands to sit comfortably at your hips. Close eyes. Allow your eyes to look towards the point between your eyebrows. Let go of any worries, concerns, or cares. Each time you have a thought, acknowledge it or not, just let it go. Come back to your center. Come back to the breath. Allow your breath gently come in, all the way down to the belly. Allow your diaphragm to fully expand.